And here we go. How many pills do I take, gentlemen? Hosting the Dragon Ship today. Nuclear. Adios.
What is up, my friends? How many pills is too many pills? We're gonna find out today.
All you Saturday savages, welcome to the Dragon Ship. Your captain today will be Nuke here.
Masculinity is in crisis. What are we to do? We need to acquire a dominant masculine presence. Now available on Amazon. Masculinity is in crisis. Men's masculine behaviors and traits have been suppressed by popular culture. Why has it become so popular to shame, guilt, insult, masculinity, and masculine behavior? After 50 to 70 years of this has resulted in a very large subset of men who have become weak, useless, and crisis. Pathetic state for boys and men that leads to depression and violent despair. A dominant masculine presence addresses this very dilemma for the individual man, and it firmly establishes why this is what is desperately needed by the individual man today. In this book, clearly defined masculine traits and behaviors and the emotional durability provided by traditional masculinity are presented as a guide to what every man should embed into his identity. Putting these principles and behaviors into practice will motivate and direct your path step to step to create for yourself an authentic, dominant masculine presence.
I'm RP Thor, and welcome to the Dragon Ship.
What is up, savages? You guys hear me? In the chat, you guys doing good? Let me know. It's my first time hosting the Dragon Ship. What's up?
Hey, we are live. Thor's on mute still.
Thor's here, but he's going to have to step out. Got a little bit chores I got to do. And thankfully, Nuke has stepped up to the helm the ship, backed by Paul and AJ, my Viking detailer. How are you guys doing? I know Nuke wanted to talk today about how many of these GD pills do we have to take? Purple, black, white, I don't know, rainbow nowadays, huh? You know anything about rainbow pills?
Oh man, I'm glad I don't. Right now, I'm glad I don't. I'm not even going to delve
That's what
into that
Disney's
world.
pushing, right?
Yeah, that's what everything in the media is pushing right now. Well, guys, I am the newest drag card to the Dragon Ship. I'm glad to be here, and it's my first time hosting. I'm here with some fine gentlemen. You guys know where to find me, twitter.com, Calillo Nuclear. You can find me on my YouTube channel, I will put the link tree in the chat for all my links. And it is a pleasure to be here, and we'll introduce the guys. So, Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up? This is Paul from the Come On Man podcast. You guys know who I am. You guys know what's up. World Manosphere champion.
Yeah. Absolutely. Glad to have Paul on board here. Appreciate that. Had a little bit of a ghosting last week, but it sure turned out good, didn't it? Boy, I got a lot of views on that show. So, that was a good one.
Yeah. We had to pre-record last week's episode, which it's demonetized. It's
yeah. You know what? Everything that I do gets demonetized immediately.
Yeah. So guys, send super chats, support our channels, because the Matrix doesn't like us.
I think that it's been done on purpose because I've won pretty much every appeal.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes weeks. But it's something about what they want is not what we are in that stream, but they don't have enough to say, we don't like you, so go away. They can't really come out and say, we refuse service to customers for any reason, but they don't want to look that bad. But definitely there's something like that going on. You know what's really interesting about this whole internet thing, Paul and Nuke? I mean, we had this same situation similarly when the electric grid was built back at the turn of the last century, and they created this thing called they did these monopoly busters. They regulated monopolies because what would happen is some of these electric providers would say, hey, you're in a poor neighborhood, Nuke, your colored skin ain't right. It's going to cost you extra to get electricity because we just don't like you and your people. We have the electricity, you don't. And it was quickly realized that restricting access to power, and guess what information is? It's access to power. So I'm really kind of surprised that we've had this kind of curation without anybody addressing the monopoly powers that has happened. We have a curated internet through Google, YouTube, Apple, Facebook. I mean, we're talking, there you go. And with the Chinese coming on strong, that's 90% of the internet. And yet there's no regulation and they restrict accesses constantly as a private entity. That is monopoly powers. Anyways, I just got off on a rant. I can't talk too much, guys. So I'm going to turn it back over to Nuke. I'm done with my dragon ship speech. Go ahead. Let's talk about
that was good.
That was a good story. No, that was a good parallel. Yeah.
Good tangent, man. I like it.
Yeah. Well,
AJ
thanks for being here, Paul.
AJ needs to introduce himself.
So AJ, let us know what you got going on, where they can find you. Introduce yourself.
I'm AJ Matthews. I am ARM Details on YouTube. I go by AJMK6R20 on Instagram. I combine detailing with men's self-help, and I try to stream. I'm starting to start streaming every other Sunday. Last week I did a review on Thor's book. Next week I will be doing a red pill versus blue pill from the perspective of former military members, what to expect, and I'd hope to have you on as well, Nuke.
I will be there. So
right.
Yeah, that will happen, guys. So go ahead and guys follow both Paul and AJ. Good people, good guys. They have a lot of value to offer, and there's a lot of noise in the red pill right now, or in the Manosphere space, and these guys really cut through it. I try to cut through all the noise and give you guys actionable advice, because right now, what makes a man is what he does, not what he listens to or what he consumes, right? So that's part of the topic of today's show. And obviously, also, you guys know who Thor is. Thor is the leader of the dragon ship. He has a new book out, Dominant Masculine Presence. If you guys are my followers and you're tuning in, it's a great book. I just bought it. I've just started it, so it's a great book.
It just dropped on Audible today.
Correct. And yeah, I think you mentioned that Rule Zero, Thor, that your book has just dropped on Audible. So guys, if you're driving around a lot or you just like to go on walks, put on some headphones and listen to the book. It's better than a lot of the trash books that are coming out today, right? So yeah, guys, so let's get right into it today. There's a lot of churn right now in the red pill space, whatever you want to call it. We got the Fresh and Fit just got demonetized, right? And I've been doing appearances on shows where they're almost there in terms of understanding intersexual dynamics and masculinity and all that stuff, but there's just so much noise and churn, and then guys are just talking about this pill and that pill and what is the right way to be and what is the wrong way to be, and it's become very tribal, and part of that tribalism has manifested as what color pill you're taking, right? So Paul, I'll start with you, right? You're seeing this, you're a member of Rule Zero, you've been doing this for a while, you know what you're talking about. What would you say to a young guy who's just discovering women, just discovering life? He understands what his role in the universe. He's trying to understand his role in the universe, right? What would you say to a young guy about all these pills that are coming out today and how confusing it could be for him?
Yeah, it really is confusing, isn't it? What I say to anybody about any of this stuff is, take all of it, with a grain of salt, but go test it out for yourself and find out what works for you and what doesn't. On my channel, I'm often recommending, I call it my holy trinity of dating books, right? And it was, there's these 3 books that I pretty much read on repeat to get better with women. And the reason why I read 3 different books as opposed to 1 book and just sticking with it was because I found that certain things in this 1 book, not all of it worked for me, right? Some other guys I talked to worked great for them. For me, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get it to work right. So I started taking other resources and saying, okay, well, this tends to resonate with me a little bit better. This seems to work better for me. And that's really all any of this is what guys are sharing their notes on. Hey, this worked for me. Try it out. So yeah, you really can get lost in the sauce of, oh, your blue pill, your red pill, your purple pill, and all this stuff. It's like at the end of the day, you realize that I don't know, there's really only 2 pills. There's really only blue pill and red pill. Everything else is bullshit.
I like that. There's it's what works and what doesn't work, basically. So AJ, same question to you. Me and you, we were both in the nuclear Navy. We probably saw a lot of, Paul was also in the Navy, and there's
conventional Navy.
Yeah. The fun Navy, the fun Navy. We were
hey, man, some mariners are pirates. So just saying.
Yeah. You guys did some weird stuff down there. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Some weird gay shit down in. Yeah.
Hey, it's okay. It's only gay or it's not gay underway. It's only queer, or it's queer at the pier. It's the same.
So AJ, same question. You're because we're in the business of making sure men understand what their role is in all this and how they can better their lives. What's your take on what would you tell a young guy, 22-year-old guy just out of college, wants to enjoy women, wants to level up, and what would you say about all these pills that he's seeing online on each of these weird podcasts? What would you say?
I would say from even my own personal experience, because my whole start of the red pill, I'd say actually came in 2018 when I got out of a relationship, started following RSD, which is kind of more or less purple pill in a way, especially after post Julian Gate. And that gives you some good place to start. But it doesn't protect you from all the stuff that you'll see. And I'd say my full red pill moment was the whole cheating scandal with my ex-fiance that was a relationship after finding RSD. So with that, understand that your quote unquote guru, vet them out very well. And when in doubt, fall back to the basics, fall back to Rollo, fall back to Paul, Thor. they have very good actionable advice to follow, and they won't like get you on the whole, hey, join my Gumroad course and teach you how to be
I
a
actually do have
affiliate
a Gumroad
marketer.
course.
Well, sorry, Paul.
Oh,
But I'm referring to other people in the space that are
Other
just nothing
Gumroad
but,
courses, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's good.
hey, get this $50 affiliate link and then try to con people into joining this.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Yeah.
I don't see Thor or Rolo trying to constantly sell the same Gumroad course over and over again with a different name.
Yeah, exactly. Young men aren't stupid, right? They're impressionable, right? They're not stupid. I always said, like, I went on the Purple Pill podcast and I said this, and I said, hey, the average age of an aircraft carrier is 23. That means most of that ship is run and kept up by young guys, right? And that's a crazy stat. Like, obviously there's older leaders and people, and there's women. About like 1/6 of the ship is women, right? But the bulk of people operating that ship is 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old guys, because they bring on the average, right? So what does that tell you? It tells you that young guys are not stupid. They can run some of the world's most powerful weapons, right? They're not dumb. They just need a direction, someone to put them in the right direction, right? Because young men are not stupid, right?
Nope.
And we have to stop with this kind of like young men are helpless. They can't help themselves. And anyone that's telling you that you need to depend on someone else's guidance that doesn't know you, that's not in your circle, that doesn't care about you, you should be a little wary of that, right? And for example, there's like this tribalism with all these pills, whether it be, whatever. It is not only pills too. It's just like people like masculinity podcasts. Like you have people like that, like into Jordan Peterson or Chris Williamson or Joe Rogan or whatever. They have their own way of thinking, right? But the thing is, it's almost like a club, right? Where
it's like guys get
it's too tribal.
Guys get gay for their guru. It's,
definitely.
And I could get this, right? Because one of the books that I that I talk about is Corey Wayne's book, right?
Mm-hmm.
How to be a 3% man. And you'll find that Corey Wayne students are very much like in Club Corey Wayne, and they don't like, and it's like at some point, and I think I was originally like that, and that's how, my podcast was originally a podcast for fellow students of Corey Wayne's book. Mm-hmm. And then I started meeting other people in the space, started reading other books, and started incorporating other concepts into, my point of view, and realized like, hey man, like he's just a guy. And largely, I hate to say it, but like he by himself is all brand. He's all brand. Yeah, his book is good. I don't always promote his book, but it's like he's all brand by himself. And so then you realize, okay, these guys are, a lot of these guys online are just brands. They're just, trying to sell stuff. They're trying to make a living, and you can't like, hitch your wagon to their cart all the time. You got to sort of eventually move off and do your own thing.
Absolutely. That's a good point. I enjoyed Corey Wayne's book, that 3%. It was, can't knock him.
Hey, it's Glenn.
That's good stuff.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
There you go.
You'll never get this. You can try. All right.
Welcome, Glenn.
Speaking of tribalism.
Hey,
Mr. Producer.
When do we let this faggot on the show? Like when would that become a full-time thing?
Are you speaking for yourself? What do you mean?
Oh, wow.
Talking about guys in Colorado. All the gay colors are.
Speaking of that, Glenn, what's all your opinion on all these pills? Like, what would you tell a young guy who's like trying to understand women and masculinity and himself? What would you say when faced with all these pills and podcasts and Jordan Peterson's and books?
A bunch of junkies.
What's up?
When do we become a bunch of junkies? Oh, we need this pill. Oh, I need this pill. Like, have we become like the internet pharmaceutical business? Like, pop these pills, take the white pill, take the red pill, take the blue pill, take the pink pill. Like
people like cracking open that red pill and snorting it.
Yeah, it's like when did we become a bunch of junkies? It's just like look, and that's where people have come to in this situation. It's like they have become a bunch of junkies. They're junkies for the information now, right? It's not like they're taking good information, applying it. They want all the information. It's not like I just need this for my diet. No, I want this. I want to have it all. And it's like that's how America got fat.
You know, honestly,
it kind of relates to the TLDR that Rolo always talks about. Like, I don't want to do the work. I just want the shortcut. I hate to tell you people, but this is the shortcut. Listen to us and then do the work yourself.
No, here's the thing. There is no fucking shortcut.
You have to do the work. Yeah, that's what it ends up being. It becomes very addicting. Like self-help in general becomes very addicting. That's why there's the concept that self-help is mental masturbation. Because if you're not actually going out and applying this stuff, you're not, you can read Corey Wayne's book 10 to 15 times, like he says. You can read it 10 million times, but if you don't go out and fucking try it out for yourself, you're just mentally masturbating.
Right.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like, and I was saying this in Row Zero, the number of guys that actually take the information from here and apply is like 12%, 12 to 15%.
What?
Right?
What do you mean?
Like that consumer content and actually take the information that we give them and apply it in their lives is about 12 to 15%. Right?
How do we know that though? I mean,
I think that came from MLD.
It came from MLD and Michael Sartain showed like the.
Oh, this is for the guys that pay for it. You mean?
Yeah, because MLD would look at his analytics from Teachable and realize out of all the people that paid for his course, only about 12 would review it.
Yeah, so
they pay the money, but they wouldn't review. Right, exactly.
So you got so out of the 100% of guys that consume our content, about 12% actually apply it in their lives, and you got to realize. So it's not about all these different pills. It's the fact that people are looking for, okay, is this going to work? Is this going to work? And they don't ever try it. And it's like, why don't you we just need one pill, right?
Yeah.
You just need aspirin. You have a headache, take some aspirin. You know what I'm saying?
Take your Motrin and water.
Yeah, if you want to get in shape, then you go to the gym. There you go. If you want to get better in business, then you consume people that are talking about business. And this is where I think Fresh and Fit fucked up. It's like they're talking about chicks, but then we're going to talk about all these other crazy things. They're becoming the pill pharmacy. You know what I'm saying? We got the red pill monopoly on this. We got the red pill monopoly on the J-Hoos. We got the red pill monopoly on this and this. And it's like, now you became a pharmacy. You become a ghetto ass pharmacy. How about you guys? You want to get better with women, then you take the
talk to women
here and you go talk to women. Just because
don't get advice from them, but go talk to them.
Yeah, but just because you read a dominant masculine presence doesn't mean you're going to be a dominant masculine man. It just means that you know what to be a dominant masculine man. But if you don't actually fucking apply the shit that's in the book, you're just as dumb shit that knows shit.
That's why I also don't like the guys out there. They're like, "Where's the receipts? Where's your receipts, bro?" And it's like, yeah, I mean, I could show you pictures of nurse chick and stuff like that, but how does that apply to your fucking life?
Exactly.
That just shows that I can talk to chicks. It doesn't. I mean, if you don't go out and try this stuff out for yourself and see if it works for you, then it doesn't matter who I'm dating.
Well, Andrew Tate. Why can't Andrew Tate be a good role model? I'm like, yeah. Let's talk about. You want to talk about the kickboxing champion and the millionaire. But you're not wanting to talk about the guy that, made money off of you simps on OnlyFans with these chicks, right? You're not talking about the guy that said that these OnlyFans chicks are for the streets, right? But then again, now come on, you guys, like you got to take the person and take the content that works, but don't pedestalize the person. And what happens a lot is a lot of these people will pedestalize these pills. Oh, all you need is the red pill. No, the red pill will help you out with certain areas in your life. All you need is the dominant masculine presence. No, you need more than that. But you know what? Dominant masculine presence is a great place to start. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, it's all talk, no action. Like man is what he does, right? And it's so sad to me when I see like these guys that go on these podcasts, right? And I know it's a business, and I know I respect guys that go out there and make money, right? But the sad part for me is like they'll have a panel of women, and women will say some egregious things, right? Because they have bright lights shining on them, and they have one chance to promo their OnlyFans and one chance to to pop on their Instagram. So they go on these shows and they say some crazy things, right, or do some crazy stuff, and that's their funnel to get more people on their Instagram or OnlyFans, right? And guys are spending $20, $30, $50, $100 of their hard-earned money, right? And it's their money, they do whatever they want with it, right? To tell these women, hey, you're a slut, or you're the downfall of the West. And I'm like, listen, man, first off, you need more frame control, because you don't lose frame over what someone else does, right? You have to live your life. What someone does with their genitals 1,000 miles away is not your problem, dude. Your problem is in front of you. Like,
here's the problem.
What is your family okay? Like,
chicks. A bunch of these guys have become chicks. Like, they're reacting just like bitches do. Okay, like, I'm gonna yell at some hoe, call her a 304 that I would never get to bang in the first place. So what the fuck are you doing?
Wasting your money.
You're wasting your money. And it's like, can we at least go back to actionable information? That's what this space was about. It's like, hey, we're gonna help guys become better guys for themselves.
It's like
Glenn, you just touched on it. You just touched on it. I got a comment, even to bear through my voice, but I got a comment. Just like a dominant masculine presence, you guys, if you do read the book, you'll understand it is everything, because it's about enlightened self-interest. So by even acquiring that, you prove you've done the action. You have to do the action. You can't just get it and it's not everything. It is. And that's where the pills really are attractive, because the red pill was a tool set that would allow you to construct your own self-enlightenment, your enlightened self, with how men and women interact, how people interact. And that's very, very attractive. The problem is everybody wants to interject their own morality or their own morals on top of it, and then use it as the proof to say, see, my little religion over here is better because it had it from the beginning. And I think that's the real risk with this type of thing. We're always going to be the enemy, or we're always going to be the outsider, because it's too easy. Fundamentally, these tools are universal. So they're easy to grab. Oh, let me just add a color. So now it's not red, it's purple. Oh, let me just do white. I think we're going to see a lot of that. And especially
it's also because Thor, nobody's going to give back to actionable information. They want to outrage brokership.
Well, they want to pick a pole, Glenn. They want to pick the piece that can fit their moral high ground.
It's like
every single one.
It's like these guys that want to hold women accountable, right? Like maybe they go on a catfish date and they tell a chick off, right? Or a chick ghosts them for a couple days, so they're like, "Oh, I'm going to send her a fucking text blast," right? I always ask guys, does that make you feel better? Does that make you feel better? Because it's not accomplishing.
I told her.
Yeah.
I told her.
Yeah, and also like, if you, let's say one day you get invited to one of these podcasts and you sit next to the same women that you're like paying money to insult, what would you say to her? Would you have the balls to say it in her face? Right? You know what's going to happen?
I would absolutely say, guys, do not ever hold a woman accountable.
Well,
yeah.
What's
going to happen?
They got to hold themselves accountable first is the thing.
Hold
right,
yourself
you're not gonna...
accountable. If they step out, you're out. It doesn't matter. You don't need to say a word.
Yeah.
Only way you can hold women accountable is if you hold yourself accountable. In this sense, like,
you don't have to announce it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is how I hold myself accountable. I'm not going to entertain a hoe, right? Even though I may want to fuck her or whatever, but I'm not going to entertain a hoe if she's stepping out of pocket. So therefore, I'm holding myself accountable to my standards, and by doing so, I'm holding her accountable because I'm not giving her the attention that she wants.
Yeah.
So,
and you don't have to say it to her like, "Hey, by the way, just to let you know, I'm removing my time and you don't just do
I'm
it.
removing my time and attention because your behavior is bad." No, you just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, you can see the guys that are the most successful that don't have to announce it, because they can be surrounded by hoes having a great time, and they don't have to. Once they've laid down those expectations, guess what? The 304s are self-enforcing of that man's directives. You don't have to do it. The others will take care of it for you.
I think we just need to go back to the point where, like, instead of like, we're saying, "Oh, women ain't shit," but we got to go back to saying, "Hey guys, half of you ain't shit either." Can we fix you pieces of shit first? Instead of talking about the shit over here, how about the shit right here on your face?
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. I disagree.
Yeah.
Too many guys are sitting there. It's just like in the church, man. It's your fault, your fault, your fault. Yes, we know it's your fault. So where's my actionable advice?
Mm-hmm. So AJ, I think you had something.
Now, let's give him some actionable advice. Yes, it's your fault. Now what do I do?
Exactly.
If
half the battle is knowing that you have responsibility. You have the responsibility to act. A woman steps out of line, you have the responsibility to act, not sit here and complain about her actions. What are you going to do about it now? It may not be your fault.
Correct.
It may not be your fault that she's a hoe, but you have the responsibility now to act. And can we talk about the action that you have to take, the responsibility that you have to make a decision on what you're going to do next? Not sit here and spin our wheels complaining about how these hoes are hoes when you're the one getting with hoes.
Oh, look at this. Look at this, Glenn. Look at our buddy. He nailed our conversation. Look at this. I think this is the actual issue. I think if we watch a lot of his content, we think that holding women accountable is to expose them as a 304 publicly. That is not correct. That actually will damage you in the long run. I'm going to tell you a secret, guys. You want the 304s to like you.
They already know they're hoes publicly because they have an OnlyFans publicly and they brag about it. So that exposing them for what they already exposed themselves for, it doesn't do shit.
Yeah, but
let them do all the talking themselves in that case.
Yeah,
you guys have been in the telegrams. You see that this is what they think, and this is actually not correct because you really kind of want the 304s on your side because of what? Pre-selection.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. When I go on Access Vegas, you guys don't ever see me on Access Vegas. Very rarely I might be on there reading super chats. You know, I'm running the production of it, right?
The girls love Glenn, by the way.
They all are very
Everyone
nice
loves
to me.
Glenn.
I love Glenn. They even called him out yesterday on Instagram.
Yeah. You know, it's like, you know, like I don't why? Because I don't give a shit about them.
Yep.
You know, I don't sit here and judge them. Like they know where I stand. They know where I stand with their lifestyle and their behavior. And you know, I'm not sitting here and going like, well, you're a slut because you have you're a porn star. She already knows she's a slut. I don't need to tell her she's a slut.
You're wasting your time if you do. Yeah,
exactly.
He doesn't shame any of them for it either, and that's the big key right there.
That's the thing. Like that's the whole point. Like all I tell them, like, look, the reason why my wife is because she knows that I won't accept this, and you know what? She lives in my frame, and we have the same. You know, we're on the same path, and it works. That's how it works. Well, how did you figure that out? Well, I figured it out by figuring myself out first. I figured it out by how I could maximize and benefit my life the best by becoming a dominant masculine man, controlling my frame, having fucking red pill awareness, and sticking by my worldview, not anybody else's worldview. And in doing so, I was able to get what I wanted in life.
Yeah, but Glenn, let me ask you this. You came to you have such an amazing story because you were blue pill as fuck. And yes,
everybody.
Most of us
I was definitely.
You're as blue pill as my shirt. But here's the thing. A little bit of that red pill creep in because reality smacked you hard of it. And with your convictions, I think it had to smack you to get you shook from those convictions.
It kicked me in the dick.
Yeah, I know it. And that's why we have such longevity here, because the reality is so there in your face for so many men. They don't want that reality, but they get mad. But in the long run, it's so much better for men to understand these things because they can actualize on themselves and have really good relationships with women, whether they're 304s or not.
Yeah, and it's like, you know the kind of guy that actually got it is the guy that doesn't blame bitches for being bitches. Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
like check this out.
What they are.
Check this out. And here's Glenn's blue pill story. My ex-wife had 3 affairs on me. And I didn't know about it, but during the whole time, I'm fucking jumping through hoops trying to like be that great husband, right? And then afterwards, everything came out, and got the divorce. I was mad.
Yeah,
I was mad as fuck. Like, how can this bitch do this shit to me? Do you know who the fuck I am?
Yeah, you did everything right, Glenn?
Yeah,
you did everything right.
And it's like, wait a minute. I became more mad at myself for doing the shit that I was doing than actually her. I said, fuck, I enabled this bad behavior. If I didn't enable this bad behavior, maybe her bad behavior wouldn't have took place, right?
Isn't
maybe
that
I wouldn't have gone through the fucking pain. But see, the guys that are fucking like, oh, all these women are 304s, Frank Castle, that bitch, they have never had the realization that the problem that they have in relationships with women is the fact that they enabled such bad behavior by their own fucking actions. That's why I get so tired.
Well, it's terrifying. It's terrifying to set boundaries in a relationship. You don't have Fresh and Fit or any Red Pill content creator next to you, in your ear or watching it. It's really easy to watch it on a screen, right? It's really easy. Like you can see a kung fu movie and you'll be like, yeah, I can do those moves. But when you do it in person,
it's not that easy.
This is the
no, it's not that easy. So it's
this here. You want to hear the real red pill? This is the real red pill. We have guys out here that want to blame the Matrix, want to blame women, want to blame society. They want to blame their boss. They want to blame their skin color. They want to blame the skin color of another person, right? For all their problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same energy as the feminist bitch that blames men for all her problems.
Right.
Neither of them want to take accountability. Neither of them want to be responsible for the shit that they're in. Like, I'm sorry. That's what pisses me off the most about the Tates. The Tates are like, oh, the Matrix are getting you. No, you got you. You got you, dude. You put yourself.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious too. Yeah, so it's pretty obvious that they got
the change that you put on your own mind are the strongest.
Stop blaming everybody and anything else for the shit that you're in. If you have shitty relationships with women, it's because you're a shitty person yourself and you're not doing what you need to do to level up. You're not reading the books and that you're not taking the advice from these guys on these panels that are giving you great information. No, you want to sit here, point and spin and bitch about women.
So I know, Glenn, your story is so cool. That's why I always bring it up, because you're a man of conviction. And without that solid ball shot, I'm not sure your conviction could have been broken.
No.
But you needed it to be broken.
Yeah.
And so when I hear you get frustrated at these guys out there, a part of me says, son, you got to have just a bit of sympathy for them because they haven't had that ball kick to break their conviction like you did. And yet,
I'm not
so far ahead,
yelling at you, telling you to fucking get up now. I don't care how many times you drop the ball, you fucking pick it up and you keep on holding that bitch and you run that shit through the lineman. Okay, that's how you get better. I'm not going to sit here and coddle you. The world wants to coddle you. All these other fucking content creators want to coddle you. I'm going to kick you in the dick and tell you to keep moving because that's what you need. Like, I'm not here I'm not trying to be your fucking pillow. I'm not your soft landing. I'm not fucking foot up your ass.
No,
I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear.
That's where I was trying to get at is the guys kind of need that. They need that kick like you took to break that conviction so they can see the reality in front of them, which is kind of really similar to unplugging from the Matrix as using the
guys
analogy that the Tates use.
Guys do really most guys, some guys find their way to the red pill space and then just realize it's good information and apply it, and then they've never had pain. But that's a very small amount of people. Most guys find their way here because something went wrong, and same thing. I had a divorce,
looking for answers.
So I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong here? And that's the way I looked at it, right? Like, what am I doing wrong? That all my major relationships in my adult life have failed.
It's a really mature approach though, Paul, because most people don't do that. They look to the outside. You see any young woman that has, or even middle-aged woman that goes through a breakup, and you see their social media posts about the world is cheating me of my happiness. And it's not about self-validation. It's about external validation, which is very different than how men do it. They'll internalize it, sometimes to the point of self-deletion. But the question that men can ask is what you did makes all the difference in the world.
And what it's also like is that sometimes in the space, especially from the MGTOW community, you'll see this, right? They still want to absolve themselves of any kind of responsibility by saying, no, it's not your fault. Women are hypergamous. This is they are just like this. It's not your fault. It's like, but you can't change women. You can only change yourself. So
the victim mentality.
It's a feature, not a bug.
There is, what I love the MGTOW brothers. I really do. I respect a lot of what their efforts go into it, but they do have a smidge of that victim acceptance that I don't care for.
That's when I get so.
I can't slam their research. I can't slam some of their conclusions. In fact, they're so logical. They're almost too logical. You need to.
One might even say
as a human.
It's like No,
Well,
it-
what
with
my
a lot of
question
these
is
guys-
as go ahead, Glenn. Sorry.
I was gonna say, one of the things these guys get, they get stuck in this victim mentality.
Mm.
They're just all they're doing is adopting the same shit bitches do, and they're just crying about it in their own man's cave.
You know, it's a
Yeah,
quicksand.
they just want to become feminists.
That would be good to figure that out.
It's just like, look, it's like this, like what Paul said. What the fuck am I doing wrong? What I said. What the fuck am I doing wrong? I put
Exactly.
the blame on me. You know why I'm doing that? Because then it makes me responsible, and it gives me the power. When I say it's all these women I hate pergamous, that's why. Well, then I'm saying I don't have the power to
when we take ownership.
Mhm.
Yeah, I said I'm not. I don't have the ability. I'm a victim of pussy. No, I'm not a victim of pussy. I can overcome this bullshit. I'm going to take control of my life and allow the things that I want in my life. I'm going to take responsibility and accountability for my life, not be a victim of someone else. But a lot of guys in this space are a bunch of bitches sitting here crying about women, saying it's all these women's fault. No, it's because you don't have a dominant masculine presence and you're a faggot.
Don't
I was gonna say,
be one of those, right?
And there goes the monetization.
Then super chat. I just ruined the show.
Yeah, no, you never ruined the show, Glenn. You know, you're not wrong. You know, those guys, I want them to arrive at this, and everybody's going to arrive at it a little bit differently, but absolutely. You know who benefits the most from the red pill?
women.
Yeah,
women.
women.
Yeah.
Women benefit the most from the red pill because guys are actually the guys that they actually want to get with.
It is true.
And now they get to actually live. The reason why we have this bullshit that we have now is because guys want a cope. They want a fucking excuse not to be fucking men. Oh, I can't be a real man because she won't let me.
Yep,
No,
let's have fun
you
with
can't be a real man because you don't want to be.
Let's have fun with a cope, though.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that a cope is.
but
exactly
I'll tell you what's a big. I'll tell you what a big cope is. And AJ, I'll let you go finish your thought real quick. One of the biggest copes I see is like the female RP content creators, which some of them are good, right? What I see is that men run to these women because these women tell them what they want to hear, so they can feel sorry for themselves, right? And then
It's running to mommy.
Yeah, running to mommy. And then some of them run to the masculinity accounts, which is like work harder for these women and forget about yourself. Set yourself on fire for these women.
Oh, don't get me started with that, Chris Williams.
Oh
yeah.
Let's not get
and then they go to the red pill, and they're like, the red pill is like, yeah, dude, just do this, and you'll be fine. Do these 3 things, try it out, and tell us how it went. We'll trade notes. And they're like, wait, but saying, why should I be
guys? You're the problem.
Yeah.
And this is how you fix your problem. You can't fix women, but you can fix your damn self. So work on your money, your muscles, your game, and your frame. And guess what? You'll deal with less bullshit. But no. They want to run to these female red pill creators, be like, Stacy was mean to me,
mommy.
Pearl. You know, like, what do you want her to say?
I think content creators like Pearl, and I've never talked with Pearl. I know you, Glenn, you know her and stuff like that. And
I know her.
She was just out in Vegas. But the problem with content creators like Pearl is that they're basically trying to convince women that they should like beta guys more, which will never work, right? And then the guys go and listen to them because they're like, oh, it's a woman who gets us. They get what we're dealing with.
Such a grift. Such a grift.
Women else to fight your
like
battle
guys
for
that
you.
are in the friend zone. It's like no, it'll never work that way.
I find
It's either that or they become total pick-me's. One of the two.
AJ, can you finish your thought that you had earlier?
Oh, I was going to say, I was kind of piggybacking off of Paul. Oh, yeah. So I was kind of piggybacking off of Paul. Like, there was a point in, I want to say it was like June, July of 21, where I had that realization. I was in the middle of my red pill rage that, hey, I've had 3 LTRs. I was still with my fiance at the time. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? What do I need to fix? And luckily at that time, I was following MLD's Inner Game July. So I started like losing the weight, starting getting better. It would work in a normal situation, except I was with a psychopathic woman at the time. So she kind of got a little pissed off that I was leveling up and leaving her behind.
There's something about that crazy pussy. Am I right?
Yeah.
Crazy pussy.
Hey guys, I cannot commit to them. You can stick your dick in it every once in a while, but do not commit to that shit.
But it's like this, like, when it comes down to it, like what I was trying to get at is like this. we sit here and we bitch about women. We want women to be accountable. We can't ask them to be accountable unless we are accountable for our own damn selves. The reason why you're accountable for picking the crazy bitch. You took
Exactly.
you took that and you're like, you know what? I see the red flags. I'm weighing the pros and cons. This pussy's great, though. You know what
Exactly. That's exactly what happened, man.
I'm willing to put up with the craziness, but then you bitch about the craziness after the craziness was crazy, and you already knew it was going to be crazy. But then you're like, oh, well, she's this. Well, you're the dumbass that chose to stick your dick in crazy. You know, it's like, you know, it's almost like this. It's like this. If somebody wanted to beat me up and I run to Thor, I'm like, Thor, can you go use your hammer and beat this guy up because he's beating me up or he wants to fight me? Thor would better be off if he was like telling me, like, guess what, bro? You're better off, and let me teach you how to fight. Let me teach you how to fight.
Did you run to Thor? Did you run to Thor when you found out that I was going to kick your ass at Fight Club? Did you run to Daddy Thor?
No, guess what I did? I talked to people that know Dana White, and I said, you know what? Show me how to fuck this fucker up. And they're like, we got you, bro. So I'm working with the dudes from Fight Junkies. Oh yeah.
Well, I've taken John Fitch's practical self-defense course, so you better watch your
Well, guess what? You do that in your little Tybo Ho videos all you want, but you're going through a fucking wall.
Walls in a ring?
What these guys are doing, though.
Hey,
they're running the Pearl.
I want to get back on your topic.
Pearl to fucking save them and tell these women what they want. Same thing with Fresh and Fit. You want someone else to tell the bitches the things that you want to tell them because you don't have the fucking balls to tell them your damn self.
That's what I'm saying. And the thing is, too, like, understand that all women are not your problem. The women that you talk to in your own life are your problem, right? And you have to go about that differently than how they go about their business differently, right? You cannot, and that's the thing, like, I see these guys getting mad. It's just like, oh, a girl's 5 minutes late to a date. You know, Fresh and Fit wouldn't put up with that, so I should. I'm like, dude, relax, dude. Women are always late. It's okay. You know, it's gonna be fine.
Expect it.
Expect it. Relax. So what someone else doesn't make you have less frame, right? You relax. You tease her for a little bit late, and you move on with the date. You being angry and having this mindset that all women need to be held accountable throughout your life. You're going to be miserable. You're not going to be able to sleep. Every girl you come across, you're going to see as look at her behaviors. Once you get zen, and once you experience women and you move on and use the red pill for what it is, you will be able to go on shows like me and talk to women that are porn stars, talk to women that are models, talk to women that are past the wall, and you'll be like, no, she's a person. She's fun.
Yes.
She's very respectful. You know, I was on a podcast the other day, and one of the girls did porn for a long time for a major company, right? And I asked her, hey, do you mind if I have some of your vodka? She's like, yeah, I'll pour you some, and I'll make you a drink, right? And I'm just like, thank you. That was very polite of you. And that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, look how peaceful life can be, and if you guys stop worrying about what every other woman's doing, worry about the couple women in your life, worry about your girlfriend, your wife, your plates, or whatever you have. Because at the end of the day, that is what the red pill is. The red pill is supposed to bring you peace. It's not supposed to change the landscape. It's not supposed to change society or politics. The red pill is amoral, apolitical. It's about you and you only. And if it doesn't benefit you and it's not working for you, turn off the Fresh and Fit, turn off the whatever. Hell, even turn off the Rolo, right? Because Rolo has plenty of good things to say. But if it's not improving your life, then you need to turn around and look, what do I have to do? Because at the end of the day, the red pill is about making your life better.
Correct. Nuke. I love that you would say that, Nuke, because that's so poignant. I would ask the panel and use this too as a caution, because we'd mentioned it earlier. I really do monitor the masculinity space for many, many years now, because I'm amazed at what people will put forward as this crisis of masculinity and try to capitalize on it. And the one, I do have a fear about it in our space. It's so easy to come out and say, men, you're doing things wrong. Lift yourself up by your bootstraps. And then our actionable advice is, well, just be your authentic self. You know, I see so many guys doing this. Chris Williamson is the best example. flow like the water in the wind, do whatever. You need to have wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and feel this way and that way in order to be a true, authentic self with the right molecular spiritual energy of the far right wing coupled with blah, blah, blah. And there's there's nothing there. It's word salad. And that's what I get afraid of when we start telling guys it's your fault. Yeah, it is your fault. We acknowledge it. Now here's what you do. It's like your law of attraction course, Paul. It's cut and dried.
Well, so one thing
here's the problem though. Here's the problem with that, right? We have to tell guys it's their fault because they have all these other so-called red pill creators are telling them it's the woman's fault. You know, you need to make women do this. You need, if you're not a real alpha man, if you don't make her do this. I don't make my wife do shit. You know why? She does this shit out of submission because she wants to. You want to be the guy that gets women naturally to want to do these things for you rather than domineering and be like, I'm a high value man. I'm alpha as fuck.
Yeah.
So guess what?
If you have to tell people you're an alpha, you're not an alpha.
Because she wants to.
Yeah, you propagandize yourself if you start thinking that way. You've watched way too much content, and now your thinking is consumed with that. That's not reality at all.
But it's like, guys, the reason why your wife is not submissive to you or the girlfriend's not submissive to you is because you are not the guy she sees valuable enough to be submissive to. So how about you work on your own value, level yourself up so you could be that guy that when women see you, they want to be submissive to you.
Well, let's be real. How many of them actually have girlfriends and wives?
Oh yeah, most of the guys
complain about the girls on Fresh and Fit. They're too busy bitching about calling these girls 304s to actually go on a date with a woman.
This is going back to what
you're talking about the chat.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Going back to what Thor was saying about like the just be yourself stuff. That is such bullshit, right? Because look, if being yourself was getting you results, you wouldn't need this space.
That's correct.
Right. The thing is that you're being yourself right now and you're fucking up. So something needs to change. And that's where the actionable advice comes in. It's like, okay, this behavior that you're doing is unattractive. This will, if you do X, Y, and Z, women respond to this more. Do this. And that means you have to change something about yourself to do that by definition, you know?
Yeah.
So the whole just be yourself is bullshit. It's like you have to learn how to be the best version of yourself, and to do that, you have to change something about yourself that you're doing that's not right.
That's the best.
And as Ryan Stone would say, be less unattractive. Figure out ways to be less unattractive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's
you will never. Women don't care anything you have to say unless you're attractive. And bottom line, unless you're an attractive man.
Rule Zero was on Troy Francis's channel today. There's your answer.
Oh, yeah. So, in fact, if we're going to talk actionable advice and guys get stuck in that line of thinking, I've seen things that are just so simple, and a change of time and space can fix everything. It's a matter of getting a new haircut. It's going to a different town. Sometimes you have to just take a break from where you're at and change life completely to get that perspective change. It could just be a little bit, but if you can do that, that can break you out. It's so easy to get trapped. I had this one client, Glenn, I think you knew him. He was stuck for 2.5 years in his apartment. The COVID came, he was an IT guy. He couldn't even get out and go speak to anybody after that time. We had to gently get him involved into, just walking a mall with, and learning to say hi to people again. Well, eventually we got him into Toastmasters, but it really was a chore to get that isolated because the fear just grew and grew and grew. I don't think he was blaming women so much, but he started to, because it made him feel better about his circumstance.
Yeah. And that goes back to it, right? We're supposed to be, reels before feels, but everybody's acting about like feels before reels over here. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, it feels better to call these women 304s. It feels better to, all we're doing, guys are being like women and doing sign language. They are. Guys are employing female tactics, expecting to get masculine results.
Oh, so true, man. Yeah, I was just watching that Chris Williamson. Absolutely, sign language completely to get results, and that's because look at his audience. It's very much like that. There's a lot of women.
So next question, guys. What would you say to a guy who sees these guys saying that they're leaving the red pill or the red pill's toxic, but they also are looking for answers? What would you tell them? And what would you define as someone you can trust with information that would help their life? And someone, how would they vet the people that are giving them information? What is a good way to vet the pills, if you, so to speak? We'll start with you, AJ, and then we'll go counterclockwise.
So a good way to vet the pills, I'd say base it off of the results of, say, clientele. Like, I come out of MLD. Like, I followed him for a while. I've hung out with him a few times. His results have worked for me, and that's the whole thing about the red pill. It is iron sharpening iron, men trading notes. Do what works best for you and what results can possibly work with you. If something doesn't, it's not one size fits all kind of thing. Something that may work for me might not work for you or Glenn or Thor, but something that works for you guys might not work for somebody like me. So that's the big thing I would say with it, is kind of mix in some things here and there. I enjoyed Thor's content. That's why I followed him. That's why I tried to get with the Dragon Ship. Met Glenn in person. Great guy. MLD again. There's other people like RSD. Their old content, perfect. Their newer content, it's a little wishy-washy, woo-woo, purple pill, whatever you want to call it. Right. I don't see the results coming out of that personally.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's a big lesson, is like, do some effort. Like, don't hang off every single word that, right? Because there's a lot of kids right now that looked up to Andrew Tate and they thought everything he did was amazing and perfect and all right. And they just don't have the discernment to be like, hey, like, he's good. He says a lot of good things, but this thing right here, I should not follow it. Like, they can't differentiate what's good or bad advice. So, guys, do a little bit of work, follow your heart. Like, you have your masculine instinct that, the masculine instinct that society's telling you to suppress and to ignore. You still can use that. You're allowed to use that. And when you smell bullshit, investigate. If you look at my channel and you'll be like, Nuke is full of shit, I'll be like, hey, if that's what you feel in your gut, I'm not going to tell you, hey, no. I'm going to be like, okay, dude, then I'm not for you. So yeah, very, very good observation, AJ. Glenn, what would you say to these young guys about choosing who they follow?
Nobody's leaving the fucking red pill once you've been red pilled. Right, let's just
blood out.
Let's cut the bullshit. Okay. The same content creators saying I'm leaving the Manosphere are still talking about manospheric shit. All right.
The Manosphere.
Right? Like, you're not leaving the red pill. You're still over there talking about red pill shit. Because you know what? That's the content that your viewers want to consume. Right. So let's cut the bullshit. All right. The other thing is, judge a man by his fruit. All right. And here's biblical Glenn for you. The Bible says, I don't judge the man, I judge the man by his fruit. Right? Oh, so everybody wants to praise Andrew Tate, but where does his fruit left him? His fruit has him facing federal crimes right now. That's his fruit. You think his fruit is his money and his status and his girls? No, his fruit is his entirety of his life. There's problems there, obviously. I'm not going to mirror somebody that has that many problems. Now, I may take bits and pieces that I see that this individual does, and I will apply that, but I'm not buying the whole fucking cow. All right, I'll take the tri-tip, but I'm leaving the fucking guts. Okay, like, you pick and take a little bit here, you take a little bit, but you judge the fruit of the man. You look at Rollo Tomasi, right? He's been married for 27 years. He has had a great relationship. He has raised a great daughter. His daughter got married. That's fruit right there. If you want to mimic somebody, then you're like, I want to do what this person has done. I want to listen and consume that content because this person has had success in this area that I want to have success in. I want to become a dominant masculine man. How do I do that? Thor is fruit. Is not just his book, but it's the way that he lives and conducts his life. You observe them and you decide whether or not this fruit is good. That's how you do it. You have to, and you won't get that.
And you won't get that by throwing $20 at a podcast saying all women are hoes. You won't get that.
You have to fucking vet your influencer, vet your guru. Okay? Like, and I'll tell you right now, everybody on this panel will fucking fail you. We're not gods. We're not fucking heroes. Okay? We will fucking fail you. We are men, but we have some good advice. And if you take the good advice from me, you take the good advice from Nuke, you take the good advice from AJ, maybe a little bit from Paul, and you take the good advice from Thor, you know what? You're going to be in a better place than you are now. But the thing is, you have to do the work and sift through the bullshit and get the good advice, get the gold nuggets.
It's not that it's not that we will fail you. It's that you anything in life,
we will fail them.
Anything in life, you get what you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It doesn't. You can go to a small time college and put all your heart and effort into getting a good education, and you can get that education at a small time college and go apply it and have a good career. Or you could spend a shitload of money on an outrageously overpriced college and put in no fucking effort and not get anything out of it. You know what I mean? Like it's all in what you put into it.
I agree with you. Glenn's right. He's just using a metaphor, and the metaphor doesn't quite fit, but you're right. It's because the expectation a lot of people will foist upon their gurus is that they have an expectation to do something for them, where it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
You have to do something for yourself, and they're just the springboard, So I would say this in as far as how do I vet my pillars? Well, I mean, there's lots of good resources out there. So take a small bit of something that intrigues you, learn it, and then see if you can replicate it in your own life to some level of success. That's just a very small part. Now, that's not going to give you a guru that you're going to worship. You'll be able to pick and pull. And there's plenty of stuff out there. I mean, Rollo's got 5 books. I got a book. Everybody's got this or that. There's some core stuff out there. I mean, Ryan's book on praxeology is an excellent place to break down those little bits so that you can test it. Here, let me test this in real life. Oh, you know what? That kind of works for me. Take it. It's a tool set for you to do it. So you really, in order to vet it yourself, you have to replicate it and not repeat it. Here's the thing, though. Here's where we run into the pitfalls. It's exciting because a lot of stuff does work, and it's the first time in our lives we get things to work, whereas we used to think the blue pill methodology was so fantastic and we were following the plan, and it works like magic pretty quickly. And so then we want to grab the flag and preach it to everybody. We almost make it an ideology, which it absolutely isn't, but we turn it into that. You can watch guys like Chris Williamson, the others out there. Heck, the female red pill coaches right now, all of them, and I love some of them dearly, do this. They all do this exclusively. They come out and they idolize this information. They almost make it religious in nature.
Yes, I've seen it too. Yeah,
and I love them, but they always follow the same course. All the girls do. They get in, they do all this stuff. They end up with a guy. They get a family. They're out. It just happens. It's just their nature as part of this thing goes. But yeah, so for a guy that's coming into this, I would really caution using the gal coaches except for anything but entertainment. Just take it like it is, find some gurus that you respect and realize that they're human beings. They're going to offer you some information, and then vet it in your own life by trial and error. That's
do the work yourself. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You read Dominant Masculine Presence again, like that's not going to make you dominant masculine man unless you try it out.
You have to do it.
You try it out, see what works for you. You discard the shit that doesn't, and you keep the shit that does.
Yes.
Like just because you may use a framing hammer to frame, I might use that framing hammer to break a window. Right? It's a tool. I'm
going to use it to break Glenn's kneecaps.
Best for me.
Break Glenn's kneecap.
Like Paul rides a tricycle and calls it a motorcycle. That's his. That works for him. But I'm going to ride a real Harley. Okay.
Yeah.
That what works for me. Again, take the tools and utilize them for what best for you. What works for you. All we're trying to give you is fucking tools. Stop idolizing this space, or stop idolizing your content creator. And that's the problem with guys, and I said this on Rule 0, like back in the biblical days, right? Israelites wanted a king because all the other nations had a king. And God's like, why the fuck do you want a king? I'm a god. Okay, like you want to downgrade from a god to a king? Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened?
They had FOMO. They had king FOMO.
They did. But that's the same thing with people. We still have that same mindset. People, we see that now. We want a Tate. What the fuck is Tate doing for you? He may give you information, but other than the information he gives you, what is he doing for you? He's not making you a millionaire. He's not making you have a harem. You have to do the work. So stop idolizing the mouthpiece and start taking the information given and apply that information.
Okay, so let me get back on my thought because I want to close it off.
Okay.
When we're talking about these red pillars, and I just want to go back to human nature. You're going to catch us doing it too, and guys, call me on it because it's part of us. It's part of our core. We like to bifurcate all of our decisions. It's right and it's wrong. It's left, it's right. It's one side of the coin or the other. We do this with everything in our lives because it makes it simple to understand and we don't have to try or even work hard. But you got to realize there's always more than two answers. There's always more than two answers. And when we're just going, it's this or it's this, that generally from a guru is not helpful to you. I mean, it could get you started, it could get you excited, but that type of thinking is really popular in this space. And I get it.
Binary thinking.
It's binary thinking. Us human beings have the ability to do what's called lateral thinking. Research is part of critical thinking skills. It will really help you isolate what the good information is from the bad. While you might think that it's either this side or that side, it's a quick way to get through things. It's generally not the best way because you miss all the nuance and finesse. So that's what I would recommend to someone coming into the red pill. Keep it in the back of your mind that there are nuanced pieces of this.
Paul, before we go to your thoughts, I had a question for you, Paul. You said, I think it was on here or on Rule Zero, you said that your son would watch a lot of videos on YouTube all the time, and then you encourage him to do this stuff and like make his own YouTube channel or make his own content.
Oh yeah.
Or like you wouldn't, and I think that's I think kind of speaks to today's where like a lot of guys will see these like even us, see us live, have multiple women or one woman or riding motorcycles and Summer Smash and Access Vegas.
All Fight
and
Club.
And they'll see me on a podcast making some girls laugh and they're like, wow, and they're living vicariously through the guys that, we do have good advice, but also we're marketing ourselves because we have to, because this takes a lot of time, so we're trying to get our money back, right? Or for the time we do. So I like to that would be our next question after this. I just wanted to confirm if that was the right story. But go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. Well, I'll touch on that real quick, and then I'll go to your original question. Yeah, my son was watching just the dumbest fucking YouTube content, right? Like guys playing video games. If you ever watch a kid's channel where the someone like Dan TDM or whatever is playing Minecraft, like they get overly excited at the dumbest shit, and you're like, oh my God, I jumped over a rock, right? And whatever that pulls kids in. And I would sit there and watch it with my son and go, why are you watching this? This is so ridiculous. And he's like, oh, I just like it. And I go, you could do this. You could have a YouTube channel. So we did. We created a YouTube channel that we ran for a while. Going back to your original question, though, Nuke, about how can guys coming into the space really vet the creators? I think it really comes down to this. You got to ask a couple of questions. Is the content rage bait and sensationalism?
A spectacle, yeah.
Yeah, if it's Jerry Springer, it's not going to help you. Is the content stats and just appeal to your own self-limiting beliefs that you already have, right? Like, for instance, someone says, hey, 80% of women only go for the top 20% of guys on dating apps. So you might as well just fucking give up. You might as well.
Confirmation bias. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause then all you're doing, it's just like, okay, well, yeah, I'm sucking at dating apps. This must be why I guess I should just give up. Right.
I'm ugly and it's all over. Yeah.
Right. Then if that's the content, then that's not helping you either. That's just, it's confirmation bias of your own self-limiting beliefs. Right. But if the content is actionable information that tells you how to actually succeed and get results, that's the content you want. Right. So one that says, hey, yes, women go for the top 20% of guys on dating apps. But if you go to a bar on a Friday night and it's a sausage fest in there and there's 3 chicks in there, you're going to have the same fucking problem. Right. There's going to be a whole bunch of dudes all trying to get the attention of those same 3 chicks. It's the same fucking thing. So this is how you deal with it. This is how you set yourself apart. And if you listen to content like that, that'll actually help you have a chance then that's the content you want. That'll actually help you succeed instead of just sitting at home feeling sorry for yourself. That's what I got.
Yeah, I would also say the amount of time, like you guys, time is valuable, right? And I understand, if you guys hit the live tab on YouTube, there are probably one of us always every day making content, right? So if you find yourself hours and hours every week just watching this stuff, and I know we're all trying to make money, but at the same time, we're also in the business of truth and helping guys, right? If you're stuck hours and hours and just being like, yeah, I love the red pill, yeah, women, well, and nothing is improving in your life over the course of 6 months, a year, 2 years, then guys, the problem is you're the guy that needs the help, And also, the reason I brought up that story, Paul, is that a lot of guys live vicariously through their guru, right? They'll see Andrew Tate boxing, he's James Bond, he's living the James Bond lifestyle, and they're like living through him, right? But in their own life, they're not doing anything interesting, right? They're not living their life the way they want. They're living through someone else, right? It's the same reason they market basketball sneakers to young kids, to make them feel like they're the basketball player that wears them. It's the same thing. It's just now we're adults and they market a lifestyle. And I'm telling you guys, you may see all of us do cool things, right? You may see Thor dropping a book. You may see Paul having fun with Aaron Clary, right? You may see Glenn being Mr. Producer. You may see AJ doing his thing here in Dallas, and me doing my thing here in Dallas. You may see us doing a whole bunch of fun stuff. But at the end of the day, the number one thing you need to do is take action, because we're taking action. The reason we do these things, right, is because we're trying to market ourselves to get more reach, to help you guys, and also get money for the time we invest. And also, we like this stuff. We like talking about this stuff, right? But at the end of the day, guys, action is first. Red pill is about action. That is the number one thing. Everything else is extra. It's okay to learn about intersexual dynamics. It's okay to kind of laugh at a show. Hey, sometimes a girl gets kicked off a show and I laugh. I'm like, that was funny, But at the same time, I know that I live in real life, and I have to go and live the lifestyle, and I have to live for me. So your number one priority in life is you, and you need to understand that you cannot live vicariously through others. Make your own stuff. If you like motorcycles, go buy a motorcycle. If you like, if you want to get super jacked, you have to get jacked, right? If you want to learn martial arts, you can't just be online all day defending your guru, or not defending, or attacking your guru, or attacking a guru, right? You have to live your own life, right? And you're going to find that, hey, it was 90% action and 10% information this whole time, right? So,
well, it's the same thing like bodybuilding, right? It's 90% nutrition and 10% in the gym.
Yeah.
What you consume is what you become.
Yeah.
So if you consume nothing about this, anything but rage baiting, triggering, throwing Frank Castling 304 shit, that's who you are. You're just going to be a upset, temper tantrum adult male throwing a fit, rather than learning how to make shit work. Do you want to improve your life, or do you want to bitch about other people that have better lives than you?
Exactly.
Because you know what,
Paul, go ahead.
These 304s that you guys are like half the time we're shitting on, living a way better life than you are. You know what I'm saying? They're not in their mom's basement. No, they have a business and they are making good money doing whatever they're doing. They're going to be able to go on the trip that they wanted. And you're sitting here fucking wasting your money on super chats, calling them a hoe. Well, guess what? You just paid for her next trip. Congratulations. You just said
and they're nice people. And they'll open the door for you. They'll pour you a drink. They'll give you a hug if you're friendly with them. They're nice people. They're human beings. Yeah. Maybe their choices won't lead them to the right place in life, right? But that's not your problem, guys. Your problem is you. They don't exist. They're not your problem. They're not your sister. They're not your mother. They're not your daughter. They're not your friend. They are simply a girl on a screen. They're using her for marketing so they get your eyes on the show, which is okay, right? Because, it's part of its business, right? But at the same time, if you still feel anger when you meet women that aren't even, you're not having sex with, and they're not your family members or your female friends, right? Then you still have a long ways to go, right? And you need to get over that, right? You should be more mad at yourself because you're not doing the things you're supposed to do, right? And Paul, I was going to ask you, so you have a law of attraction course. Do you think that you being mad is going to attract better quality women in your life. You taking too many pills. You think, so go into that a little bit.
So I'm a firm believer in this, and that's what I talk about in the course, right? And a lot of guys, they look at the law of attraction like it's some kind of magic or spiritual, and it could be, right? There's an explanation for that if you're a religious guy, but I try to keep that out of the course. What really comes down to, if you look at it from a psychological standpoint, is that we get what we focus on in life. It's your reticular activating system. If you're focused on all these trash women and how they're all cheaters, they're all 304s, they're all on OnlyFans, they're selling their themselves on Instagram, that's all you're going to see. But if you start focusing on more positive things that you actually want out of your life, a traditional woman, right? These good women, good traditional women, you start focusing on that sort of thing, you'll start seeing them everywhere. And it's not that they weren't there before, you just weren't focused on them before. And so that's really, to make it super simplistic, that's really what it comes down to. It all starts up in your head.
Guys, we got a super. Remember, please subscribe, like, share the channel. All of these guys all have channels. Please set the super form. We're going to give a war horn out to Dark Knight Dev. We'll see if I can read this properly because it's a good one. Why are people using stats and studies instead of some nuance and common sense about stats of fatherlessness and incels who aren't dating? Well, thank you for that super chat, and we appreciate that. We try to bring that nuance here.
I'm so tired of this.
It is a problem, and it's going to be a perennial problem because our demographics are on a slide, and it's going to increase for a while. This is a problem that's much larger. It's varied in its sources, but the end result will be miserable for quite a few people. But there is an escape. What do you think about it?
I would say, guys, that you'll see these red pill debates, and they're just going to throw numbers at each other. Well, 33% of men aren't having sex. Well, divorce rate is this. Well, the law, like if you approach a woman, they'll feel creeped out. All this is that. Guys, please go out and just talk to some women. Please go out and have some friends. Please go out and live your life and figure it out yourself. And then you come back and tell us, hey, it's actually like this, and we'll trade notes, right? Don't get caught up in these debates and these numbers, right? Look, the statistics are there. They can help you. You could be like, okay, well, before I get married or before I do this action, these are the chances. I'm going to calculate the risk. I'm going to be informed. Great. But when you're out having fun, right? When you're out at salsa night, when you're out riding motorcycles, when you're at a party, when you're out, whatever, on a show with beautiful women, right? Get that shit out of your head. Forget about the red pill completely. Focus on having fun and being fun. No one wants to be around anyone that's unfun. And I know I always say this. No one cares about you. You have to bring fun to the table first when interacting with women. But I would say this. You have to bring fun to the table when interacting with anyone, right? Because you wouldn't hang out with a boring friend, right? You want to hang out with some cool, funny guys that are your friends, right? Same thing with women. Women don't want to hang out with boring guys, right? And part of, it's so sad because yesterday I walked into the studio and there was a young girl there, and I introduced myself, and she said, I asked her, hey, how old are you? She's like, I'm 23. I'm in my peak. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, you guys say I'm in my peak. And it made me so sad because like she's been a woman's been consuming so much red pill that she herself is saying at 23 years old, it's all downhill from here. And it may or may not be true, but I'm saying, hey, relax. Like, I'm not here to judge you.
That's amazing that she would say something like that. So revealing, because guys get stuck on these gals. If they're not a certain way, they're ruined. Guys, women are mirrors, man. They are a blank palette. Even though they've been influenced all of this time, just by her saying that, she's already made an assumption about who and what she is. Even if she doesn't believe it, it's entered her subconscious. And as a man, you can fix that. Women will want to mirror you, And one of the hardest things I have, because you had mentioned having fun. One of the hardest things I've had with my consultants is getting men to become what I would call self-entertaining. They don't need anybody around to enjoy their life in that moment. And if somebody happens to enter that frame, you want to watch somebody self-entertaining, watch Glenn by himself. Yeah, I mean it, man. Everybody's got
Yeah, I
like
could tell. Yeah, I could tell.
Feeling
I could
full of
totally
energy.
tell. Yeah.
He's
I have
full of
more
himself.
fun
That's
with
that is,
myself
but
than
realize that
anybody
is so
else.
hard for guys to do. But that energy translates very quickly into social acuity. You know, you're self-entertaining wherever you're at. You're gonna have a good time, even though guess what? Oh, I'm stuck in this green room now. I'm waiting for my buddies to finish their podcast. This is fucking boring. What the hell? No, I'm going to get up and talk around. I'm going to have some fun and I'm going to make it just as fun as anything else, man. It's just being self-entertaining the whole time. And I point out Glenn because he is self-entertaining if you spend any time around him. But it's a good example. And
I'm exhausting.
I see guys
I'm exhaustingly
exhaust
entertaining.
himself.
I'm exhaustingly entertaining. I will exhaust you by entertaining myself.
He's funny because he's on. I was in the hotel with him. He's on until he's off, and then he's off.
Once I'm off, I'm off. I'm like, leave me
Social
alone.
battery runs out.
Are you alive? Oh shit!
Well, it's like here's the thing. You know, like
Yeah.
I want to go back to the superhero. It says, why are you guys using stats and studies instead of some nuances and common sense? Because common sense is fucking monetable right now. Okay, let's just sell common sense. Hey, don't eat lead paint. I mean, fucking Ryan comes out with, he bottles common sense and he sells it at a premium. You know, and here's the thing. Yeah, the statistics are, you know, women want the top 20% of guys. Okay, cool. Then what are you doing to make yourself a top 20% of guy?
I was about to say that. Go make yourself a top 20% guy. Like, understand the stats are there and figure out how to make those stats work for you. Don't let them stop you from doing the work.
30% of guys under 30 are virgins.
Exactly.
How do you make yourself that above 69%?
69%.
Perfect. Now it's easy for me to stand out. It's
exactly.
It's easier for me to stand out. Yeah.
Easiest one. Don't be fat.
When you fucking become an anomaly and you don't become a fucking statistic. Take the information and stop being a statistic.
You know what's really actionable about what Glenn said is, yeah, okay, top 20%, but honestly, Glenn's been around. I've been around. We could go anywhere. It's not even that you have to be in the top 20. You just have to stand out in some way, you know.
One thing I tell guys all the time when they get so concerned with that stat, I'm like, just don't be fat and you're already in the top 25% of guys.
Yeah.
So if you do that and then, you know, maybe get some better pictures, maybe, you know, instead of just being skinny fat, you actually maybe, you know, lift some weights or do some calisthenics and, you know, have some muscle definition. You're going to be in the top 15%. Yeah. That by itself will put you in the, you know, 10%
it's so
better.
Easy. It's not that hard, guys. It really isn't. Work on yourself.
And if, you know, on dating apps, if you look at your competition, you'll see what the other women are dealing with, right? Most guys have shitty pictures. They have negative bios. It's like, oh, if I just go and not take selfies and you know, maybe have a friend take pictures of me, like that by itself you'll get better results. You know, if you don't have any fucking friends, first of all, get friends, but second, get a tripod and use the timer feature on your phone. It's
or you can make stupid videos like Paul does by himself, talking shit about me, and he gets a whole bunch of likes because you know what? People find him entertaining. He entertains himself.
Fall Fight Club's real.
And you know what's going to be even more entertaining when he's doing it in a body cast after Fall Fight Club.
Glenn, funny story. My mom saw some of those videos and she goes, "Are you sure you want to fuck with that guy?"
See, Mama knows best.
I'm like, Mom, whose side are you on? Jesus.
Hey, Glenn is a big dude. I've like meet him in person and stuff. He is intimidating sometimes.
I got Mrs. Bauer on my side. I got Mama Bauer. I won, and hands down, it's already over.
I can imagine it now. Paul being a body cast, be have a fistful of your beard hair.
That's fine. My beard hair grows back.
Going down fucking swinging.
My beard hair grows back, but his pride won't.
He's got some sneaky moves, I'm thinking. Sneaky moves.
But no, when it comes down, like let's get back to the actionable advice here with this. So guys, you have to do the work. yourself. Stop looking for a fucking hero. Stop looking for a pill. Like I said in the beginning, we have become a pill popping society. Stop popping pills.
Well, yeah, look at what happens anytime anybody sees, say, Glenn, myself, and Rolo on a cast. What do they immediately do? Oh, you guys are on steroids, DRT, this, that, and that, and this. It's amazing. And then here's the thing. Nothing works unless you do the work. None of that actually is real. None of it.
You can take all the steroids you want. You still won't be as strong as me if you don't go get your ass in the gym and fucking
Nothing works unless you do the work.
You know, here's
I have one final.
I was gonna
go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people think like they could pray for things or they can manifest it with their mind, right? You know, the Israelites were out in the wilderness, right? They're traveling for 40 years, and it's the Bible says how God supplied the manna, right? Do you know what they had to do to go get the manna? They had to get their ass up and go find it. It wasn't like the loaf of bread just fell on their lap. No, they had to go out there and find this shit. They had to do an action to get the blessing that they had. So if you want the success that you want in life, you have to go out and actionably apply yourself to get it. This is not the field of dreams. This is not if you build it, they will come. Okay, this is if you fucking go do something and you go out there and attack it and you go for your goal, you have a better chance at achieving it than you were sitting on your ass watching me talk about how dumb you are for sitting on your ass.
Yeah, well, that my law of attraction course talks about that exactly, because a lot of people watch the movie The Secret and they go, "Oh, if I just believe a lot, it'll just magically show up in my life." It's like, no, that's not how it works. What will happen is you'll get ideas. I need to go do this today. I need to go out and get that manna today, right, Glenn?
Oh, it's so true.
And then you need to fucking act on it. You need to go, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Take fucking action. Default to action.
Make a plan.
That's why I love the Old Testament stuff so much.
You have to execute or else.
Yeah, right, Glenn. That Old Testament stuff definitely is about taking action. The guys were complaining about not having wives. So God said, okay, go murder those sons of bitches over there, kill all the kids that are too old, and then steal the virgins for yourself. Problem solved. Action taken.
There you go. You know, it's like, oh, you have this fucking giant in front of you. Okay, go fucking slay the giant. Get your slingshot. You know, do what you have. Use the tools that work for you.
I'm not going to use a slingshot, but I will use an elbow drop off the top rope.
Exactly. And then some of those darn tribes would go to God and say, God, they said bad things about you. And he'd say, oh, no shit. Well, you go enslave their children then.
Yeah, go fucking handle business. Stop being a bitch.
And then kill the ones that don't like it.
All right. All right, guys. One last question and we'll wrap. One last question, guys, and we'll wrap up the show. I think this was a great show, a lot of passion. I feel like everyone's on the same page, and we all like, you know, we want to take action first, and then we'll take names and ask questions later, right? So my last question is, how do you tell if you're consuming too much red pill content, right? What are the signs that you as a man are like consuming too much red pill content? And yes, there is too much, guys. We'll start with AJ and we'll make our way counterclockwise. So AJ, how do you know if how would you tell your man, hey man, you're consuming too much of this stuff, man? It's getting to you.
I'd say person consuming too much red pill content, they're kind of stuck in that red pill rage where they're too afraid to take any action whatsoever, and then they just sit there and spout off all the statistics instead of, like I said, take the action.
Yeah, like people that constantly, like, you'll meet up for, like, you know, drinks with your best friend, and your best friend's like, did you hear what Rolo said about this? Like, bro, we're out. We're like, relax, dude. You know,
I would say also, like, a person consuming too much red pill content either goes down the road of MGTOW or, God forbid, black pill as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys, before we wrap up, before we finish that question, let's hit a couple super chats here. All right. Let's start with one of our good member friends, and it's going to be Elaine. We're going to give her an Odin.
Our shield maiden, our favorite shield maiden.
We got quite a few actually that usually jump in here. Thank you, Elena Bars Fitness. We love you too, and love you guys. Such a great podcast. Always learn from you. Well, you know what? You're welcome here every time. Appreciate your
Elena,
patronage.
a quick question. Elena, didn't I just meet your husband?
Yeah.
Wasn't he out here at the convention for crypto, the crypto convention?
Oh, the crypto?
Yeah, I swear, because the guy that I seen in her video playing piano with her
Oh,
was the same guy I was with this like 2 weeks ago. So I just want to make sure that I think I'm right. I think that was her husband.
if she texts in, we'll put it up. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to answer it, no worries. Absolutely. And then we're gonna have to give a double war horn to this man, one of our channel's solid dragons. Danny Arnold. Once again, $9.99. If you want to eat, kill the mastodon. If you want results, do the work. Here's a little something towards a cookie jar, brothers. Skull. And then right behind him is Alex Patino. Don't blame others for your failures. Take action to improve your own life. I'll second that. Thank you, sir. We appreciate those.
Simple.
Elena said that, let's say I'm not her husband. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I met that guy. He was a cool guy. I mean, she has good people in her circles.
Good. Well, you know what? Most of the folks that do come in here, I know we talk a lot about you men are doing this, you men are doing that. You're calling through it. Most of our audience isn't doing that. They're actually here for that. And you know what? The Rule Zero guys aren't really here to watch the 304s get excommunicado or whatever it is from the shows. I mean, that's strictly for a different kind of result, you know, that reactor and that constant pressure upwards towards the march towards the Maury Povich show, what I like to call it. You know, pretty soon we'll be calling out the cucks and the DNA tests and all that stuff, right? That's what it's kind of become right now, because there's no going back once you go down those roads. But I don't think our audience is anything like that. I mean, I see the comments that come in. They're here for a specific reason, and it seems as though they get those reasons met, and we're happy to do that here.
So is it Paul's turn to answer the question?
What was the question again? Oh, how to know if you're watching too much red pill content? I really think it just comes down to are you actually going out? Are you going out and applying this stuff? And if the answer is no, then you're watching too much shit. You know, because now you don't have enough time to go out and try some of it out. I think that's really
the time. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Time is like, you know, you can spend hours watching this stuff all week because one of us is always streaming. Somebody's always talking about this stuff all the time on YouTube live, you know, at all hours of the night. But hey, man, maybe instead of doing that, go out and yeah. I feel like your first 6 months you should be
way out to a date. Okay, that's how you do that.
Yeah, time management, guys. Time management.
Yeah.
All right, Glenn. All right, thanks, Paul. All right, Glenn. What are your thoughts? How do you know if you're consuming too much, Mr. Producer?
Okay, here's a public service announcement.
Oh man,
if you do go out and you're talking to a girl, and in your conversation you're talking about body count and pair bonding, you fucktard are consuming way too much red pill content. You understand?
Like, God, yeah. If you ask a girl what her body count is, you already lost.
Guys, we got to do it in unison. We got to do the Glenn in unison. Come on, guys. All of us in unison. 1, 2, 3. You fucktard.
I'm serious. I hear these guys talking, and they're like, they're in their casual conversation with chicks, and they're talking about pair bonding or that she's not marriageable because her body count. Bro, you're consuming way too much content.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the time Nurse Chick, when we first started dating, she brought up hypergamy just like randomly?
Oh, that's interesting. You got to tell a story. What the hell?
Okay, yeah. So man, this must have been like our 3rd or 4th date, and she just sort of randomly brings up hypergamy, and I looked at her for a second, and I'm just like, okay. And then the next day I did a TikTok, and I go, have you ever felt like someone was internet stalking you because they bring up something that's just oddly specific about stuff that you talk about all the time online? And it's like 20 seconds later, I get a text from her going, okay, I admit it. I found your TikTok channel. I've been following you.
Oh, shit. That's funny, though.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
I mean, seriously, guys, if you are talking to women or just even your guy friends about if that's the topic of your conversation is red pill content, or what red flags you see in this chick, or bro, you are consuming way too much. You're not applying it. It's almost like you become a glutton for the space and the content that comes out of it. And gluttony is a sin. So just don't be a glutton, you fat fucks.
Yeah, that's true. That's
there
true.
you go, guys. It's biblical. It's unbiblical. It's ungodly to consume too much red pill content. So, all right, Thor, how do you know if you're consuming too much red pill content?
Because it invades the rest of your life. It shouldn't. This is a tool set, man. How often you going in there digging for your monkey wrenches? Once you got it, you got it. You might need to oil them occasionally, you know, but you're not going to play with those tools all day. You know, it's pretty straightforward. You got to live your life, man.
Yeah.
In fact, the best men that apply the red pill, they're invisible to you. They're not online making the content. The players that are living the supreme life of the top 5%, you're not seeing them. They're not advertising their lifestyle. They might even be wearing a little blue t-shirt somewhere and enjoying their life, but you're not going to see it because, you know, you're not. I mean, most of us will just fade away eventually, but, you know, you don't have to do all those things to enjoy your life. Take the tools. And I would say if it's more than 20% of your content consumption, you should probably monitor it. You don't want it to get above 20%. You should be well read in other areas. You should be technically read. You should have other endeavors. And if it's above 20%, that's a fifth of your life. Then you might have an issue with this.
Yeah.
Just trying to be practical.
So I got a question for you. Would you say you're consuming too much red pill content if you have to walk around and start telling everybody how alpha you are? Or like if you're trying to you're demanding submission. I am so alpha, you should submit. You have now consumed too much.
I had a guy
You're just acting like a little kid.
I had a guy ask me in the comments one time. He's like, how do you basically tell a woman that you want her to be this way? I go, you don't tell her. You test her ability to follow your lead. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Demonstrate, don't
But
explicate.
that's the biggest point, Paul. That's the biggest one right there. And so many guys get it. Oh, you have to. No, I'm boundary setting because you know what? Us red pill guys have said, yeah, we do need to set our boundaries. But in order to do that, we'll embellish it because it sounds good and it's cut and dried. It's bifurcated. But man, that's not, you have to demonstrate it. She has to want to follow you. That's the best way. If you gotta sit there and tell her this is how the cow eats the cabbage, you already messed up. You're already at the nuclear option. No offense, Nuke, but you know, you're already at
the nuclear option.
You know, laying down the law. You know, you've got to do that way ahead of time. Now, here's the thing: with these tools, you can do it. She won't even know it. Got to be smart.
It's like,
and that's the best way to do it too, because women don't want to know they're playing a game. They just want to play it.
I had this guy tell me
Let him win.
Like I had this guy tell me, like, look, man, I'm having a hard time getting my woman to be submissive. You know, I'm telling her how she's supposed to be submissive. You know, I mean, I even showed her in the Bible, Glenn, where she's supposed to be submissive. And I was like, did you see that scripture that said, husbands, tell your wife that they shall be submissive? He's like, no, is it in there? No, because it's not your job to tell them that they have to be submissive to you. Okay, like you don't demand submission. Submission is given. Like if you're trying to be a domineering, there's a lot of red pill guys out here, you know, that are very domineering and they're missing the fucking point.
Yep.
I don't demand anything from anybody. Okay. I move the way I move when you move a certain way that I don't like. If you move in a certain way I don't like, I will, my counter move will be to move you out of my life. Okay. That's how I can contain control over my life. I'm not trying to control the women in my life. I'm not trying to control my wife. You know what? I move the way that I move, and if she stays in my frame, then she moves with me too. But if she moves outside of my frame, then that is her choice, and I move accordingly. That's the real red pill.
Yeah. Excellent point, Glenn. All right. So I just want to wrap this question up with like one of the ways you can tell guys if you're consuming too much red pill content is if you're living your life feeling like you need to live up to something, live up to your guru. And like, for example, you may go out on a date and you may get rejected or ghosted. And all of a sudden you feel like a failure as a man because one girl rejected you because you see your guru with 2 or 3 women, or maybe your marriage is kind of not on the rocks, but you see RP Thor or Glenn having a happy marriages with their wives. And you're just like, I failed my guru. I'm like, no, dude, again, this is about you. You're allowed to fail. No one cares that you fail. We only care if you fail and turn your back on yourself, right? And that is, to me, that is one of the biggest things I see in younger guys when they ask me about this stuff. It's because they think that they have to live up to some kind of metric of success that's not even theirs, right? So you got to ask yourself, what do you want? Like what Paul or Glenn or Thor or AJ want may not be the same as you, right? I want a certain thing, and the thing is, like, you should be able to have the discernment to be like, this is what I want. And if let's say I want a marriage like Glenn Lawrence, and then my marriage, and then my girl does something I don't like, I'm gonna be like, I failed Glenn. Why didn't I just listen to everything he said? I failed. I'm not a good, I'm not red pill. I'm like, no, dude, you're allowed to fail. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're a human being. Forgive yourself. Forgive your wife. We're all humans. We're all victim of technology. We're all victim of our own desires. Relax. Bar some like extenuating circumstances like cheating and stuff like that can't be redeemed. Like, be easy on yourself. The red pill is to bring you peace. If you don't feel peace, then you're consuming too much red pill content. If you watch a show and you look at women that you don't even know and you feel anger towards them, you're consuming too much red pill content. You're supposed to go to sleep at night knowing that everything's going to be okay, that you have the tools, that there is a way out, that you're going to be happy, everything's going to be okay. And that's the point of the red pill, is to give you peace and to give you an action plan on a way out. And if some parts don't work for you, that's fine as well. You don't have to explain to us after you've taken the red pill, or to anyone, how it works or what you should do or not do. You take it and you move on with your life. You throw away the tool over your shoulder and you keep on moving. So that's my take on that. Glenn, did you have something?
I wanted to say one more thing. I was like, when you consume too much red pill content, when you wear a fucking red pill hat, or you're always on stream wearing red pill shit, you might be consuming too much red pill content.
Yeah.
But what if you're selling? What if you're selling said merch at merch.commandmanpod.com?
If you think it says Mr. Producer might have a little bit of red pill content in you.
You know what?
My Rule Zero shirt just came in.
what you were saying, Nuke, about letting down your guru. I actually like Rich Cooper, but the other day he put out a clip where he had some guy. He has a call-in show. Some guy calls in. The guy was saying, Rich, I think I'm a high value man, and Rich just goes, no, you're not. And the guy goes, well, I actually make pretty good money. I make like, 90 grand a year or whatever. And Rich goes, yeah. But the thing is, like, you're worried about Rich's opinion of you being a high value man. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm not up to Rich Cooper's level of money and wealth, and I don't have a McLaren and all this stuff. It's like, you can't measure yourself to Rich Cooper and his McLaren and shit like that. You just can't. You have to look at how it applies to your life at your level where you're at right now. If you want to eventually get to his level money wise someday, you could do that and do what he says business wise. But when it comes to like, women and dating and stuff like that, man, you really just have to figure out what you want and compete with yourself,
Well, that's what I was saying, Paul. Like, we will fail them because if we become the standard or the metric that they determine is that this is what it is to be a alpha guy or a high value guy or a red pill guy, then they will fail. We will fail them because if I don't want to be anybody's standard, okay, I don't want to be your metric that you measure yourself by to determine whether or not you're a man or not. Don't make me your standard, because I will fail you in the sense of you cannot do everything that Glenn Lawrence does. Only Glenn Lawrence could do Glenn Lawrence. All right, because you haven't lived through my circumstances. You haven't gotten to the things that I went through in life to get to where I'm at. So I will fail you if I am your standard. That's what I'm saying. Like, so
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So like, just take the message and apply the tools that work. Don't make Thor your standard. Don't make me your standard. Don't make Rollo your standard. Even Rollo says, I don't want a bunch of Rollo Tomasi minions. He wants guys to be individuals. Here's the tools. Here's how you use them. Now go fucking conquer the world.
Yep. And you'll hear me
And
say
it's
that
more
message all the
satisfying when you
time.
figure out yourself.
I've come on here before talking about grooves and said, why should I listen to Thor? You fucking shouldn't. You know, the reality of the situation is this. You know, look in this space, even guys that like a Rich Cooper or some of those, I will even challenge and throw this out there because I've been around long enough and I know, and it doesn't bother me because I don't make a living. But I'll tell you this, they're not high value. They may project it, but they're not. The guys that are, that you really, really wanted to idolize, you're not going to see them here. They're not going to be in the space. They're out of the space. That's
They're
why I really
living their life.
He's like, don't follow me. Don't be like that. I'm going to offer you the tools. And in a way, that's really brilliant but it's also harmful to his marketing because if you want to get a bunch of callers that call in and then say, I'm high value, you say, no, you're not. You're not like me. You know, that's just playing to the entertainment, get the views. It's not what you think. It's kayfabe.
Look, there was only one person that ever walked this face of this earth that said, if you want to, live a good life, be like me, and that was Jesus. Everybody else has failed you. So
and look what happened to Jesus.
Yeah.
No good deed goes unpunished. Here we go.
But what I'm saying is men as men, we will fail you. As soon as how it says don't meet your heroes, right? Because your heroes will let you down. It's the same thing. Don't pedestalize anybody that you consume their content. They will fail you.
Yeah, because they can never live up. It's just the way it is.
They can never live up to the standard that you put them to.
Yeah, because we kind of, us guys will kind of hamster wheel our idols. You know that.
Yeah. And it's good to copy certain aspects of people, guys. Like maybe you want to, I like the way, I like Glenn's form when he deadlifts. I'm going to copy his workout a little bit because, it works for me, my biomechanics. Or, I'm going to, I like motorcycles too. I'm going to ask Paul what he rides. Maybe he has a good suggestion for me, right? But you don't want to become...
motorcycle.
I ride a very reliable Honda.
He doesn't ride. He doesn't even ride a Harley. Don't ask him about more. He doesn't even ride a Harley.
It's 100cc Vespa.
Yeah. If you want to ride motorcycles, talk to me and Thor. We'll help you out. We'll get you.
Yeah. Glenn will tell you how to trailer your bike.
I will tell you how to do tricks on your bike. And I'll tell you how to trailer it so you can save your back, so you can beat up douche nozzles like Paul, and Thor will tell you how to pick up chicks on the back of your bike and how to get them to hug you tight while you ride.
Yeah. And what I got to say too, and what I got to say too, guys, is some of us, we will fail you, but some gurus will fail you completely, and that's what you don't want, right? Look at people like Jack Murphy. He failed a lot of guys, completely failed a lot. There's no coming back, right? I want to fail you in a very small way. Hey, maybe I said something immoral and maybe that pissed you off a little bit. That's okay. But there are gurus out here that will completely expose themselves as frauds and will, it will crush your worldview. And that's a second red pill, second unplugging for guys where hey, it's all about you. You have to face the void yourself and fight through this. And we're all here rooting for you, but you have to do the work, guys. And that's the ultimate pill. And that is what the red pill is that it's for you and your peace and your happiness. And ultimately, rule 0, guys, positive masculine identity, and we'll push forward and everything. I promise you guys, everyone in the chat, I promise you, everything will be okay. I promise. When I was in my 20s, I had a doom and gloom mindset because I'm it's all over, right? And that was 10 years ago, right? And now I'm just you know what? I think I'm good. I think we're gonna see this out. Everything's gonna be okay. So it's okay to feel lost. It's okay to be scared. You gotta charge forward. You gotta push through. And when you realize there's gonna be a point where you're what was I so scared for? I just had to do a little bit of work. It's okay. I was gonna make it. I was always gonna make it. I just had to hold out and not be so addicted to what all these people screaming on the internet at each other are saying, right? So I just want to say thanks, guys, for having me host the show. Let's thank the guys. I want to thank the guys who super chatted the show. Dark Knight Dev, Elena, Danny, and Alex. Danny and Alex are good followers of mine too. Elena, she's a great gal, guys. And Dark Knight Dev, he's one of ours. He's a cool, super cool guy. He's very switched on, guys. So I appreciate you guys' super chats. $5 super chat from a switched on person is worth more than $100 super chat from a guy shitting on OnlyFans models on a podcast, you know. So thank you guys. Yeah. And then we'll plug in our stuff. I don't know if AJ's coming back, but we'll plug in our stuff and we'll wrap the show. So we'll start with Mr. Producer. What's going on? I know you got a lot going on, and you've been working, man. You've been working. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's no days off over here. Today, what we got going on? I have I'm putting Phil Foster on with Miguel from Dollar Cost Crypto, so we'll see him on that show. And then after that, I have Lika O, female actress, producer, model, friend of mine. She's going to be on with Michael Sartain at 4:30. And then after that, we got Davrick, Black Ice, going to have Janelle, the sex therapist, on his show. Ooh. So yeah, producing over here, we don't stop, man. We work 7 days a week. And then I'm
That's some homogenized goodness right there.
Yeah.
So me poisoning you actually gave you a break.
That was my vacation, but guess what? I'm in the hospital and people are messaging me like, "Hey, I know you're sick. Are you okay?" Yeah. Hey, so my show. So can you get someone on?
Hey, I texted you just saying if you were okay. I didn't ask for anything.
You did. You did. Nuke
I was on a.
Everybody
I
else
was next
like,
to Phil.
Hey, I know you're dying.
I was next to Phil.
I was trying to help you out. I tried to run.
Glenn, I know you're dying, but can you cut a wrestling promo?
Yeah, I saw that. Like, we're gonna play that up. I'm like, here, let me just make him a video while I'm in the fucking journey.
Shoot, I was trying to run interference for you. I put a little group text together so the guys would know. Nobody knew at first, and it's like, I sorry, I just gotta let them know. You know, they got to figure it out. I know you're in there. So.
Yeah.
But
no,
I'm back.
Glenn texted me during my show. I was sitting next to Phil and I saw Glenn's text about him being sick. And I'm like, oh, and then Glenn smiled. I'm like, damn, I hope he's okay. Everyone's sick in Vegas right now. I don't know what's going on. So,
well,
Glenn's
I'm the only
Glenn had a pretty nasty.
I'm the only one that gave a porn star a virus without having sex with them.
Credentials, people. That's your guru. That's your guru right now, doing things that others can't.
I can do things that you can't do. No, but like what we got going on here, just want you guys to know, we will be having a Rule Zero conference, right? And we have, 3 of the 4 of us are on Rule Zero. And don't worry, if you think the Dragon Ship will not be there, the Dragon Ship will be there as well. We'd love to get all the guys that you see on the panel there too. We might even do a small meetup just for the Dragon Ship, as for sure, in coinciding with what we got with Rule Zero and MOA. So it's going to be a great conference. It's not going to be like any other conference that you've seen before. It's not going to be like 21Con. It's not going to be like CME, with no disrespect to either of their conventions, but we are doing it differently. And I know I could just say that, but I could tell you right now, the things that we have planned out, the things that we're going to do, we're going to put the standard of what a masculine conference is supposed to be like, and we're going to show you how it's supposed to be done correctly. And how you can take actionable information and apply it to your life with your favorite gurus, but the gurus that you already vetted, right? So stay tuned to that. That will be coming out 2024. I want to say spring of 2024. Yeah. We're in the works of that. So if you guys don't see me a whole lot on these shows, just know that I'm out here grinding and working and trying to bring you guys the best content ever.
Awesome, man. Thank you for your contributions, man. Man, keep working and don't work yourself too much, man. You gotta watch your health too. But we appreciate all the work you put in. I'm sure that it'll be a great conference, guys. And follow Glenn Lawrence on his channel. I'm sure everyone is already following him. But if any of my followers are in here, follow Glenn Lawrence. Good guy. He's very switched on. He's Mr. Producer, man. He's Mr. Make It Happen. So that's
yes, he is.
Yeah. All right, Paul. You're up. Tell us where we can find you. You also have stuff going on. I think you're writing a book now too, or something.
Yeah, speaking of great content, I have the greatest content.
Oh God, here we go.
Not,
Of all
I don't want to toot
time.
my own horn, but toot. You know what I'm saying?
See, like,
Uh,
look at Paul. I don't have to toot my own horn. People
you just
toot it for
spent
me.
10 minutes tooting
No,
your
no,
own
no.
fucking horn.
I didn't toot it. Nobody else tooted it.
He doesn't toot it, he blows it.
You have to blow your own horn. You have to
I,
have a lip
Who
removed?
else is gonna do it?
So I've got a little podcast going on. It's I drop 3 episodes a week every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can find it on all your favorite podcast platforms, including YouTube. I also have a little course, practical law of attraction course that helps sponsor the Dragon Ship. I'll drop a link to that in the chat. It's a mindset course, and you'll find that everything starts in your mind, right? No matter what you want in life, more money, more girls, whatever. It all starts up here. It all starts in your mind. And that's why I created the Practical Law of Attraction course. So check that out. I think they'll play a commercial for it at the end.
Yeah, we'll take it out with that, Paul.
Okay.
When we're
Awesome.
ready.
Thank you, Paul. Thor, the leader of
Well,
the
I-
Dragon Ship.
Well, thank you, sir. A little under the weather today, but nothing that I can't handle. I appreciate you stepping up and taking the helm today, and I'm really
My
proud
pleasure.
of Glenn, the work he's putting together. I mean, it's been like more than a year-long plan. It's finally starting to come together, and all kayfabe aside, it's quite a team that's preparing to, launch us into the future. The look of the Manosphere will be different, but at least on the red pill side that is still standing, it's going to be pretty solid come this time next year. I can tell you that. Check out my new audiobook. It just dropped 2 days ago. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised by it. So do that. Check me out at Become Durable. Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Thor. Guys, I'm gonna plug in AJ because he had to leave. You can follow him on YouTube, Arm Details on YouTube, and then his IG is AJMK6R20. He's a fellow Dallas guy. He's just great. He's a cool guy. He's ex nuclear Navy like me, and we're gonna be doing a show soon on Blue Pill and the military. So that'll be a very interesting show. I got a lot of thoughts and things. I think, Laren, you're coming on for that too. And I guess, Paul, man, I guess if you're you guys, we got to come in and tell these military guys, man, that you got to be careful out there. It's a lot of pitfalls.
This is
yeah.
next weekend.
We should do a Veterans Day show where we're
There you
just
go.
talking about
Yeah.
the simpiness of the military.
Yeah.
So guys, you guys know
Rainbow
where to find
Division.
me. Twitter.com. Guys, you know where to find me. Twitter.com, Kaleo Nuclear. Same thing for my YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Patreon, Nuclear Kaleo. You guys, I have my link tree in the chat. I just want to say thank you guys for the chat. Very active chat. Very active chat. Very interested in the subject. This is a very important topic right now because there's a lot of churn in the red pill or the manosphere, whatever you want to call it these days. And we got to set everything straight. We got to tell you guys, hey, calm down. There's a storm outside, but the Dragon Ship is not going to keel over. We're just going to go run through the storm, and we're going to help guys. And the number one way to help guys is to tell them to take action and stop consuming so much red pill content, right? Because red pill content can only get you 10% of the way, So thanks everyone. And Thor,
I'm going to take us out with our sponsor of the day. And until next time, guys, all you guys stick around if you can, but I'm going to take us out with our sponsor, Skull.
Are you struggling to find a good quality woman? They are very rare indeed these days. If you spend any time at all watching content in the men's podcast space, or you spend time on dating apps or going out to clubs, you're seeing low quality, promiscuous women. You're finding women with daddy issues and personality disorders, or a myriad of other red flags, and you are frustrated. I get it, brother, but what if I were to tell you that the reason why you're only seeing these types of women is because of your mindset, because of your paradigm? We get what we focus on in life, and you have trained your mind to focus on the type of women that you don't want. So those are the types of women that keep showing up for you again and again. Let's change that mindset today. If you're a guy looking to attract high-quality, submissive women into your life, then I've got the perfect solution for you. And let me tell you, brother, it's all about mindset. That's right, you've got to reprogram your thinking to focus on the type of women you do want. That's where my Practical Law of Attraction course comes in. It's packed with proven psychology-based techniques that will help you manifest your dream woman. Trust me, you won't find this stuff anywhere else. Explained in such a simple, easy-to-use way. And let me tell you, when you start using these methods, you'll be amazed at how quickly things start changing for you. Picture this, you're out on the town, feeling confident and magnetic. All the women are drawn to you like moths to a flame. And best of all, you're attracting the type of women that are submissive and high quality. It's not that they weren't there before, it's that you weren't aware of them before. My course will teach you how to be more hyper aware of the kind of women that you actually want. It will teach you to believe that you're the most attractive man around. And when you believe it, you'll carry yourself that way. So what are you waiting for? The link's in the description. Start living the life you've always dreamed of. Don't miss out on this opportunity to up your game and find the woman of your dreams. The law of attraction is nothing without action. So what are you waiting for? Act now.
Masculinity is in crisis. What are we to do? We need to acquire a dominant masculine presence. Now available on Amazon. Masculinity is in crisis. Men's masculine behaviors and traits have been suppressed by popular culture. Why has it become so popular to shame, guilt, insult, masculinity, and masculine behaviors? After 50 to 70 years of this has resulted in a very large subset of men who have become weak, useless, and crisis. Pathetic state for boys and men that leads to depression and violent despair. A dominant masculine presence addresses this very dilemma for the individual man, and it firmly establishes why this is what is desperately needed by the individual man today. In this book, clearly defined masculine traits and behaviors and the emotional durability provided by traditional masculine